What do you say to all the people now that want to start a whole? They're just like, I'm going to go buy businesses because that's what cool people do,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go hire an operator. You have any words for those people?
Well, right now, buying businesses is like in vogue. I don't really know why it got in vogue, but my best guess is that we have so many people retiring right now that there's just a huge supply spike. And then a lot of people who'd never made their money buying businesses, selling courses on how to buy businesses. Because the thing is, and this is kind of for the audience, is like, if you make your money buying businesses and you're really good at it, you don't need to sell a course. Like the best people at buying businesses buy businesses and hold them and invest. Like I think Naval said, like the best investors don't sell courses on investing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because like if you're really good at it, you don't need to.
Yep.
And I kind of stick by that. And so it is kind of shitty, and there's a lot of marketing dollars that are going behind that and a lot of content being made because it's like sexy. And the idea of buying a business for no money down that makes $500,000 a year, which is absolutely possible. You totally can do that. But the thing that they miss is that I can buy a business for $0 down that makes $500 or $1 million a year and know how to run it. If you've never run a business, and even if you do somehow magically pull off that deal, you're still screwed because you have no idea how to run a business. And so it's like you still lack the skills even though you can close the sale. Like I could sell that I could build a skyscraper. And if I somehow manage to BS my way through the negotiations and close the contract, I still have to build a skyscraper. And if you've never built a building before or even a house, very tough. And the likelihood that you then lose your ass on, because like you'll get the business that does $1 million in profit per year for $0 down, but not for $0. And that's the piece that I think a lot of people miss. It's like, it's not free. Like you have a liability or you have a debt if you do some sort of seller financing, creative financing, whatever. It's like, but now you owe this person.
Yep. And that's the marketing piece, right? I think we get it's the headlines at the end of the day. I want to talk about the content piece. So I was hanging out, I was at speaking of real estate mastermind a couple weeks ago. Basically, this guy owns $1.5 billion in real estate in Arizona. And then in the middle of the pandemic, he's like, I'm just going to do YouTube for fun, right? Because he couldn't go anywhere. So he grew to like 400K or so.
Oh, sick.
And then, but his content is like top notch, right? It's like he understands.
He actually does it.
Yeah. It's like, this guy's deep. You can tell, right? Tax advantages, whatever. But then
Who is it?
Ken McElroy.
Okay, I'll look.
I'll
look him up.
You should definitely talk to super smart. But then you look at other people who are getting millions and millions of views a month on YouTube, and they're talking about all these different businesses, but then they know the YouTube game, but they don't have depth when it comes to business, right? So I see it as a trade-off at the end of the day. But you're actually able to play both, right? And so they were talking to me. They're just like, okay, what's the point of even creating content? I'll just go buy more business. Actually, this was last week. One of my friends went to me. He's like, Eric, I don't need to create content. I'll just go buy their businesses. And then I posted that to Twitter X the next day.
Yeah.
And Layla was like, Layla was like, oh no, but you create leverage is where we get our deal flow from. And you said all your deal flow comes from that, right? So I guess
sure we have the same as we have a network and things like that come through, but I don't think we've done a deal that's not come through our deal flow.
Got it. And of the 3,000 that come through each month, what % actually make it?
Oh, tiny. Yeah. Right. We do 2 LOIs a month. And that's not to dissuade people. It's mostly because we just have a lot of people who don't have qualified businesses. Just to be clear, like if you have a qualified business, hit me up. But we just have a tremendous amount that are doing less than $1 million in profit. And they're like, I'll give you 5%, Alex. Man, so tempting.
So, okay. If for example, let's just use a fake example. Someone has a bunch of locations. They're doing 1 million in EBITDA. Let me just rewind for a second.
Minimum is $1 million, just to be clear. So ideally for me, like I love that like 3-ish, 4-ish. You know what I mean? Like that's where like you're right about to hit that, so we can just like boom 20, and then it's like.
And you're aligning with them. It's like, hey, if we want to hold forever, you're like, hey, like if I like you, maybe, right?
Yeah, I'm good on either way.